All right, so we got one thing running, two things running. All right, let's push it. Oh yeah, I got another intro. Wait, let me get my tea. You guys on YouTube? All right, what's up, everybody? We're in an unprecedented moment. The cues are pulling back. And I'm personally not short, but we're going to talk about a little bit about what's happening today. It's very important to notice and actually already starting to prepare for tomorrow. So give me a second, Ryan. I'll be right there. All right, let's rock. See if this thing don't blow up. Mm-hmm. Oh, I got to do it again? All right, let me know. Okay, just give me the word. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are still short, good for you, man. I mean, we're seeing something that we don't normally see, a down day. Follow through to the downside. And you still, by the way, you haven't got 702.50 yet. So you're right there. Not all stocks are shortable. And it's a very dangerous business, shorting. But at least today you're getting follow through and you were about to get to a price that we thought we'd never see again. 702.50 on the Qs. You're almost there. You're so close. Come on, hit it already. Jeez. You break 702.50, you should expect to get the other 50 or 60 cents. And then if this is going to be the one seller for the year, there's the 5-day VWAP. You could now dream big. If you get under the 702.50, you could start thinking we could actually go down another $2.50. And we're live. Welcome to the moment that'll change your life. Strap in, kids, to be enlightened. All right, this is pretty awesome, but I can't share my screen yet. That was fantastic. Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We're broadcasting across all time and space, and it's a lot of fun because today we're seeing something unprecedented. The market's going down, and it's not really down, down. I mean, this is just still a fart in the wind, as we call it. We have just witnessed what I believe to be the greatest move in the history of the stock market. And if you don't know, my name is Kenny Glick, and I called it to the date that it actually happened. So I've been doing this for 30 years. I'm pretty hip to the markets. I've been day trading before it was called day trading. I basically coined the phrase day trading. And early back in 1996, 97, we also coined a phrase on one of our favorite trades. It's called the fake out, shake out, breakout. Faux, show, bro. Fake them out, shake them out, breakout. Fast forward many, 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 many decades later, I took that trade and I overlapped it with volume weighted average price, the only trade that I take now. And I am on an unprecedented winning streak on this particular setup. And since it'll be 5 years in October. I know this is the part where I lose you. I haven't had a loss. You just said you lost money yesterday. I know, those were other trades. I have a trade that has worked now 1,473 times in a row over the last 5 years. Now, I'm not saying I haven't lost money. I got my ass kicked short in UVXY 2 years ago. I got destroyed just 2 days ago, short in DoorDash and Datadog. I lose money trading. But when this particular setup shows up, it makes money every single time. And I could say that out loud now. Nothing works every single time. And there are ways that you could ruin the trade by not taking advantage of the profit and letting it go against you. But that's just irresponsible trading. So we have a trade that works every single time it shows up, provides a winning trade. So you're wondering, how the hell can you screw something up that works every time? Let me explain the negative, what happens negatively. So the perfect example is the one that we traded today. Look at this chart. Now, if you heard the conversation about 2 hours ago, you're thinking, Kenny, you are clueless and you have zero idea what you're talking about, which is the case sometimes. But when I trade VWAP, I'm in the driver's seat. And the VWAP is the blue line. So I'm not going to go through my whole entire history with you. If you have a chance, do me a favor, Google me, grok me, baby. If you grok me, you'll learn a little bit about me. Google me. I've been on the TV. I was on the CNBC. I was on Nightline and 40 minutes, or was it 60 minutes? Well, I don't know. I was only on it for 5 minutes. But I was the poster child for day trading when I was 25, 26 years old. And I've made a life out of it. And I've had a crazy life because I was pretty good at what I was doing early on. And again, I let it get to my head. And then I spent the years of 2012, 2013, 2014, and some of 2015 hemorrhaging cash and losing every penny I ever made. And if it wasn't for the fact that I was married, I'd be broke and I'd probably be in an asylum right now because I was doing some stuff that just was just unhealthy. And I just couldn't get out of my own way to the point where I just quit. I quit. So right now, I still look at myself as I'm on the resurrection tour of my entire life. And how did I resurrect my career? This trade. I went right back to a trade that was working for me in the 90s, and I overlapped it with what I learned from my hero, Zach Hurwitz, the VWAP emperor, who also learned his trade from the VWAP, the Lord of VWAP, known as Brian Shannon, VWAP and anchored VWAP. So through careful experimentation, I started just looking at a trade that I like, the fake out, shake out, breakout, and what is known as the finger of God trade, which is a short. And I overlapped it with VWAP. And what I started to see was that it was rectifying or correcting all the mistakes that I was making my entire life, just based on volume weighted average price and using a multiple time frame VWAP. Brian and Zach were calling it anchored. I call it the multi-day. I was just looking at it on a 1 day and a prior day is what you're looking at right here. And then from just what they call back testing or just using the setup, I started to find which ones worked the best. And the ones that worked the best were stocks that had reported earnings. Now, why? The reason it works the best is that there's more volume, right? Guy in the back. There's more volume on the stocks that report earnings. It's the most volatile moment that a stock could have, the reporting of the earnings. And I'm talking about not the pre-market action or the aftermarket action, the entire action from the night before to the morning of to the day of. So, for instance, this ASTS. Now, you're looking at this chart and you're thinking, no way did you make money on this long today. It's getting slaughtered. Oh, let me retort. So what we do for a living is we look for stocks that are down on the earnings report. And considering we're in a market that really doesn't like to go down anymore, that kind of helps. But, and this is a great situation, is a great learning experience for all of us. where I say a trade that works every time, it provides the winning. If you don't take the money, it can become a loss. But like what I did to myself last week, why would I let a trade that was a winning trade become a loss? Sometimes greed. Sometimes you just forget to use stops. Sometimes you just become complacent. But those are negative things. Don't do those things. So with the ASTS, I was absolutely thrilled that it worked, past tense. So what we do is we look for stocks that have gapped down on earnings. And then we look for it to trade around VWAP. Let me show you what we're looking at more particularly. So in this case, and again, I showed you 5 days worth of VWAP. So the stock reported last night. And what we look for is the ebb and flow, or the ranges and prices of significance that happened the night before and the morning of, revolving around today's VWAP, which is the blue line, and the orange line, which is a special secret sauce that we invented that grabs a data set that gives us an algorithmic number for where the stocks tend to ebb and flow, or in layman's terms, go to and from. And all we trade is the to and the from. And we have a trade that, when it shows up, provides a winning trade 100% of the time. And if you could stay focused on this one particular trade, forget about the market environment, inflation, stagflation, who the president is there a war going on? What's the price of oil? It cuts through all that. All that just starts to fade away. And that's where you want to be. You want to be concentrating on the price action of the stock that you are trading and staying isolated to that one stock in that one moment. And oh my, was it glorious? So let's elaborate. The night before a stock comes out, the night before it reports earnings, I'm all over it, right? Last night, everybody loves some ASTS. I think the stock's eventually going to 250. Regardless, insignificant. Doesn't matter what I think is going to happen tomorrow, next day, doesn't matter. I know ASTS reported earnings and it rallied first, broke the VWAP, and got hammered. So if I was looking at it in the aftermarket, now I don't trade the aftermarket, the VWAP break itself is an algorithmic moment telling you that the sellers are showing up. And if it breaks the range where it came from, almost all the time, you will then have a down move. And you did. And it was awesome if you'd happen to be trading in the aftermarket. But let's say you weren't. And you woke up this morning and you said, I hope ASTS is down. Why? Because we want to buy it, right? And we're not going to just buy it because we like the name. We're not going to just buy it because it's down on earnings. We're going to wait for the confirmation that it's worth our time to buy it, with risk reward in our favor based on 2 lines. So the red lines I'm drawing are just where the pivots were. So the low was 70.59. You got back to the 72.85, which is where it broke down from. And the peak that it hit right there was 74.79. And the peak that it hit right here was around 77.50. And where it broke down from was 80.06. Now I've got a roadmap, literally a roadmap. These are your lanes. Now we come in tomorrow, 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't think anybody's up. I was still picking up a car from the side of the road. Don't want to tell you that story, but I'll tell you some other time. And I'm thinking, hey, I get a chance to buy the stock. So there's the blue line. And it's breaking over the blue line. I like stocks that are gapped down on earnings that break the VWAP. Don't you? I do. Somebody asked, why is VWAP important? How do the institutions use it? It's the only gauge that they use to trade. Institutional order flow, traders that are acquiring or accumulation and distribution, you've heard that phrase. This is where they're accumulating or distributing the stock. So what we do for a living is we just piggyback, if you will, the institutional order flow, and we obey it as if it is the law. And by the way, if you are short the Qs right now, I'm rooting for you. You finally broke the 702.50. Go for it, people. Now, wait, before I got to pivot. I got to pivot because we got some live trades going on now. And I just want to show you what the stock just did. So now all of our traders in our room are been waiting for this moment. We got a reason to be short because it broke VWAP. Range break right here. Got stopped out of some. Never got back above the blue line. So most of our traders are still short. Then you got 2 days worth of VWAP. That became resistance over there. Here's the 3 days worth of VWAP. That's where it battled and lost the battle. Here's 4 days worth of VWAP, and voila, you just got there. Where what should you be doing right now? Taking some profit. And now you look at 5 days worth of VWAP, and now that you've got to the 4, you lower your stops to the 3, and you're hoping, because this is where you can hope, especially if you're a shorter, you demented psychopaths shorting a market that never goes down. Now you've got a reason to believe that this can get a little bit more exciting to the downside, but then you realize shorting is short-lived and you're going to die. So you put a stop on. And that stop is the 702.50 and the price where you just broke down, which is 703. But now you have a reason to believe that you can go down a little bit more. But you also remind yourself, this is already a great trade. You're taking profit along the way, and you manage the trade as if it's going to rip up in your face at any minute, because that is shorting in 2026. And most of my life, you're one rip away from having to get out or you're going to lose all your money. I speak from experience. So the reason I'm a great trader now, I'm a good trader. The reason I'm good now is that I've learned from all the horrifying mistakes that I've made, especially as a shorter. So now I spend most of my time using the VWAP to victimize my old self. But we're flipping the script today. We're having the first momentum down day, what seems like in the last 40 days. And that's pretty much true. And right now, if you're short, you got a reason to believe. You got a reason to hold. You got a reason to say, hallelujah. My God, the market can go down every once in a while. I've never seen it. Lordy, Lordy. And then you put your stop on because you're not a delusional psychopath. And you realize any second now, it could rip 12 to 15 points in your face. So did I get you excited right there? Don't ever get excited. Don't ever be excited about being short. Yeah, you really shouldn't get excited about being in any trade, really, in particular. Keep your emotions in check. I'm glad it's working for you. And right now, you truly have a reason to stay short for the first time in 31 trading days. So I didn't mean to pivot there, but I had to because we're in these trades, and I want to make sure everybody's managed them correctly. You have your stop now. The last resort now is this breakdown price, which is 703.13. So the if-then statement. The way we trade, and the only way you can day trade now in an algorithmic world controlled by bots, high-frequency trading, and VWAP, is to trade like you're a robot. If the stock breaks this price, then you do something. If it doesn't, you stay in the trade, take profit, lower your stop, look for the next target, and that's it. That's it. That's trading. So if you are short the Qs, lower your stop to 703.07. Next target remains 698.89. And that's it. Now you've taken some profits because you got the 702.50. That's a big number. And now you're waiting to see if you get paid more, and you're ready to get out at 703.08 because that's where it broke down from. So let's talk about the ASTS and the trade that never fails. And if you didn't get out, you're saying to yourself, well, Kenny, that failed pretty miserably. Right. And that's why we have to have a conversation about this. So here's the chart we were looking at this morning on ASTS. Why were we buying it? Well, let's go back to yesterday. We're looking to buy stocks that are gapped down on earnings because that's where the buying happens. That's where the squeeze happens. We're looking to get the shorts squoze. And oh, did they get squoze? And those levels that made sense to us last night were the levels that we were selling on the way up. Because to stay a profitable trader, if you're buying something at 73.60, at 75, you're selling a little. And then you're raising your stop. And then it gets to the price where we thought it could get to, 77.50, and you're selling a little. With our ultimate target was the prior day VWAP, because that's the trade that we're in. When you're in at blue, you're looking for orange, retrace or go to the orange. And also that price coincided with where it broke down from yesterday. Look how lovely. Now, if you can believe this, and you should, because we did it live. We did it live. We sold on the way up, but we didn't get out of everything here. Why would we? We're in a market that never goes down. We're in a stock that's ripping higher. We're about to break prior day VWAP. Why would we sell it? We sold some, and then the inexplicable happened. It actually went down. What the hell is that all about? Market never goes down. And where does it go to? It hits the VWAP and bounces. So right here, we got a little sigh of relief. Oh, all right. It was just a little profit-taking moment. All right, we're going to hang in there. Oh, wait a second. Is it breaking VWAP and the level where it just held? And right there, the trade was over. So are we great traders? We're pretty good. Got in here, sold here, sold here, sold some here, sold some on the way back down, and the rest down here. The internet will tell you that they all bought here and sold here. And then they shorted it up here, and now they're still short, because the internet never loses money. We're humans that live in reality. And what was so special about this trade is that not only did we get in at one of the best prices of the day, we sold pretty much at one of the best prices. Again, like I said, if you had 800 shares, you sold two here, one here, and the last 300 was right here. But that's a great trade. Nobody's getting in at the best price and selling it all at the best price. Nobody, except the guy on the internet that never loses. You know that guy. So what do we do as reality traders who live in the world of reality? Great place to visit, better place to live. We understand that the market ebbs and flows, and we try to do our best. So in this situation, not only was it a great long trade, but when it got rejected at the prior day VWAP and then it rolled over, it became a short. And now here's where I got to be brutally honest with you. No freaking way did I take this trade, because I'm scared of shorting lately. And last week I did not do well. I threw a couple of shorts on, went against my whole VWAP trade. I got a little aggressive, and I got smoked, people. Smoked. And I'm still licking my wounds from last week. But that is where these trades supersede any kind of emotion. Listen to the words that I'm saying. Why didn't I put this trade on? You heard me. I'm scared. I'm literally scared to short. This trade takes the fear away. What are you afraid of? It's rolling through VWAP, breaking down. Put the short on, place your stop here, and your fear is now alleviated. And look how lovely this trade turned into. And the same thing with the QQQ short, right? I'm not going to tell you whether I'm not in the trade right now. I'm going to let you guess. But I've been so beaten and so bruised by shorting that it has to do so many different things for me to want to get involved. And what it's doing now is special, because we're breaking down below 1 minute. We're the inability for us to rally for the first time in over 5 weeks, breaking prior day VWAPs, 3 days worth, 4 days worth. And now where are we headed, friends? We're headed to the 5, baby. We're headed to the 5. Well, what if it doesn't get there, Kenny? Great question, guy in the back. Lower your stop now, because now that you broke down some more, you say to yourself, I can't believe this is working. I don't even know what this, I never even experienced a trade that actually goes down in the last 5 weeks. What is this? Great. Now you lower your stop to the 702.50, and the ranges where you broke down from become your new stops. Target remains 798.90. And hopefully we get there while we're sitting here so you could all be amazed at multiple time frame VWAP, as I have been doing this now since 2012. Like I said, I spent 3 years screwing around with it, getting crushed, wasn't using it properly. It didn't really embrace it. Now it's all I do. And it keeps my scatterbrain, knucklehead, undisciplined, emotional self in some really good trades. And that's what we all need, because we're all scatterbrain. We're all knuckleheads. We all do dumb stuff. I was betting against the Knicks every game. What am I thinking? I'm thinking there's no way they're sweeping the Sixers. I don't care. It wasn't a lot of money, but I had a bet against them. There's no way they're sweeping the Sixers. What am I looking at here? By the way, if you don't gamble on sports, you have no idea what I'm talking about. The Knicks just did something almost as unprecedented as this. Actually, what the Knicks just did is more unprecedented than the market's environment right now. But anyway, this is how you stay in the winning trade. You take profit along the way and you lower your stop. You know where your targets are, but you understand that at any second, this thing could go ripping against you. So you keep that stop on. That stop takes every emotional moment, I hope this happens, anything you're going to do wrong, placing the stop alleviates all of it. It takes you out, takes your brain out of the equation. So now it's, if the stock stays below 701, I'm going to go 702. What was that price right there? The bottom of that candle, 702.17. So if it stays below 702.17, I'm going to hold on to see if it gets down to the 698.90. But you don't want to blow a great trade. Now, here's the thing. You can't lose now, because most of our traders have shorted it up here and over here. They've taken profit here. They got stopped out of a little bit. They're using the VWAP as their rest of stop. Now they took profit on the way down. Nobody's losing money on this trade now. It's a question of, will we make more? And that's where you want to be. So let me show you a couple other trades that we did today, and they were freaking awesome. So Rigatoni, RGTI, you guys know about the quantum names? Yeah. Now this one was disappointing, right? Because I got in, I nailed it. I got the little fake out, shakeout. And again, let me show you what the fake out, shakeout looks like. Stock breaks a new low. It comes right back. That's a trap. And then it usually rips, breaks the VWAP, and terrorizes the shorts all day. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. But I'm buying here at 2030. And it gets to the VWAP. What am I doing there? I'm in 1,000 shares at $20.30. It goes up 40 cents. That's $400. That's more than most Americans are going to make all day. I'm taking some of the money. And then it pulls back on me. I'm like, all right. If it breaks down, I'm going to sell the rest. But then it didn't. And here I'm thinking, I'm definitely good. There's no way this stock's rolling over now. We just got back over VWAP again. And then it rolled over. And then it broke down. And I had to sell it. And then moments later, it did this. And I was like, oh, I think I screwed up. And then look what happened. Rejected at the VWAP again. And there's been nothing but selling since. So again, did I make money on this trade? Nah, not really. I was up 400. I wound up making about $103. Yeah, it's all right. But if I wouldn't have listened to my discipline, I'd be down $2,000. If I didn't listen to my discipline on ASTS, I'd be down $8,000. I'd rather make $700 than losing $8,000. I'd rather make $120 than lose $2,000. And that's trading. And that's all we do every single day. We understand the risks. We understand the risk rewards. We understand how important VWAP is. We understand how multiple time frame VWAP works. And we understand that the market can go down once every 40 or 50 days. And right now, breaking 700, pretty damn significant. And I want to just give a shout out to my pal, Solid Jello, who is one of my guys that we trade with. You'll meet him if you join our room one day. He's come up with some algorithms that gave us projected moves on the QQQ. And he told us anywhere between 715 and 724 is what we should expect to see when we broke 638. Sorry. He only nailed it. We were so close. I did actually was convinced we'd get up another 5 or 3, 3 or 5 more points. But right now, that's all we're doing, right? We're just consolidating this monstrous move, this unprecedented move from an 18-month low to an all-time high rip. No one in their right mind, not even me, and I was pretty damn bullish once we broke over. This is what a yearly VWAP is. Once we broke over that, and then we power gapped. You guys have been hearing me talking about power gaps. We had 3 power gaps. And if you don't know what a power gap is, let me show you. So in the middle of the day on March 31st, wait, hang on, before I go any further, let me put you guys got your stops on the cues. You know what you're doing, right? If anybody's in these positions, don't blow the trade. Still thinking if we can get another dollar to the downside, but don't be silly. When you're shorting, never feel comfortable. Always put your stop on. But let me show you why I got super bullish on March 31st. And I'll show you, I know, some other awesomeness about multiple time frame VWAP. So this was a double top right there on 128.26. And right there, I was like, wow. How come the market's not breaking out and ripping everybody's head off like it usually does? And I was like, there's something wrong. And because I use yearly VWAPs, this was the yearly trailing VWAP. We already had, this was taper tantrum down there. Remember that move? It was the last time I saw a power gap. So here, I started actually shorting the market. Started on February 3rd. And we started cracking down on the Bitcoin. And I thought for the first time in a very long time, consolidation might lead to a rollover. And I was thinking if we could break that yearly VWAP, we're going to go searching for the real support, which was down at the 555 area. Now, down at 555, I'm not thinking we're just going to bounce and rally 150 points. Nobody was. But let me show you what happened. So on March 31st, and I'll show you this is what's great about what we do here. I can go on any time frame and show it to you with a VWAP. So you want to see the greatest chart in the history of mankind? Here it is. 30 days on an hourly. Oh my freaking God. The chart pattern that we trade, the fake them out, shake them out, break them out, right there on the 30th. But I want to show you something. By the way, this is, again, take a snapshot of this picture. You might never see anything like this before, ever again. This is a 18-month low to a 33% rally in our dumb faces. Just absolutely incredible. Indices are doubling. SOX has gone from 40 to 160. By far the most unprecedented move in the history of mankind. So I've been looking for a reason to short because that's what I do. I know Michael Burry's out there calling the top. It's a bubble. He's a one-hit wonder. What does that guy know, right? But anyway, if you are still short right now, look, you didn't get down to that price. Don't overstay your welcome on a short position. But let me walk through this trade right now. We got to where we thought we can get to, the breakout area from where this last move was. We just retraced. That's all this was. This isn't really something scary. It'll get scary if we break down into that level. But let me show you what's up. So on March 31st, let me show you. You go back to the March 31st. And this is what's great about Thinkorswim. You go right to that date, customize, put the date in. So it was March 31st. So I'll go back. I'll show you the 30th. And then I'll show you just a couple of days later. That was power gap number 2. And March 31st, you'll see it. Here's where the turn happened. By the way, you see this is that chart pattern that I talk about. Fake them out, shake them out, breakout. The reason it works so well is that on any time frame, even daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, The market likes to break down and try to screw as many people as humanly possible. It wants to just shake out the last person, capitulate, get this last guy out, and then leave without them. Fake them out, shake them out, fake them out, shake them out, break out. So we saw that move in the overnight. We were already starting to feel, hey, maybe that's a significant moment. But the real significant moment was on the 31st. Right there. This surge. There's the government telling you, we're never going down. So it all started with another one. Fake them out, shake them out, VWAP break into a power surge that if you weren't there to witness it, it's hard to explain. The QQQ, an indice or an index or an ETF comprised of 100 different stocks, went from 568 to 571 in about 30 seconds. And not only did it do that, but then the next power gap program hit, and it went from 571 to 575 in 2 minutes. That ain't how the market works. That's the government stepping in. That's Trump right there going, boys, hit the afterburners. Engage. And the bull market was born. Right there. Bang and boom. And then, if you weren't convinced, the next night, when people thought we were still concerned about the war. War? What war? The price of oil? Nobody cares. $10 a gallon is factored in already. Trump at the UN said something about the war lasting a little bit longer. And you walked in, you thought, oh, that power gap was nothing, right? Uh-huh. Faux, show, bro, power gap. Boom. The government said, good luck ever shorting the market ever again until today. And we've been ripping ever since. And I've never seen anything like this before. And I lived through the tariff candle. If you guys remember the tariff candle back a year ago, where we rallied 8% in a day, I thought that was something until this last 30-day rally. And here we are. Raise your hand if you're in the back of the room and you got rich on this move. Probably nobody's raising their hand, right? Nobody got rich? Nobody retired? I know one guy did. His name was Don Corleone. He retired because he was long this whole time in the semis. And if you don't know Don Corleone, you should. Everybody on Stock Twitch knows him. Man of the year. He should have won back-to-back awards, but they were embarrassed to give it to him again. He got us in the semis. He got us into the photonic stocks. And some of these stocks you never even heard of, like MXL, banging it out at $20, getting us in. I never heard of that. I was thinking, well, is Maxell still make cassettes? I'm thinking I'm buying Maxell. You guys remember Chrome tapes? Yeah, I'm old. What? You didn't record Casey Kasem, the top 20 countdown on Maxell tapes? And he said to me, he's like, you don't understand the company. I'm like, I don't want to understand the company. That chart pattern, I'm in. And of course, I bought it and sold it 4 points later, and then it went to 100 without me. That's what I'm saying. Did anybody get rich? He did, because he stays in these structural moves, believing in the company and the technical analysis. I, on the other hand, I'm a short-term trader. I buy a stock at 20, it goes to 25. 2 days later, I'm thinking, woo, look at me. Some of these names that we were involved in, MXL, if you guys know about VICR, thank you very much, Don Corleone. Same chart pattern, same result. $60 stock trading at 313. How you doing? VIAV. Same chart pattern, same result. We're in from 15. Stock went to 60. Everybody knows my Rambus story, RMBS, right? I mean, I could go on and on and on. But the point is, nobody got rich, right? Did anybody retire this week? No. So we got to go back to work. And if you're going to go back to work as a trader, you go right back to the trade that works more than any other trade that I've ever seen in my entire life. And that is trading around VWAP. Anybody have any questions? Anybody concerned? Anybody like Chris Stapleton? So that's my thing, right? And so what we just spoke about for about a half an hour is my life. Every morning I wake up, and most of the time I'm not in positions. I like being a day trader because I'm more of a real estate guy. Most of my money I took out of the market, and I feel like I've missed the boat literally. Hard for me to want to pile right back in. You know, my kids are involved in the market, QQQ. But I'm a real estate and a silver guy, and I love day trading. I like being in control. I like waking up in the morning, know I have a skill that I could conjure up money, and not what am I trying to say here? I don't want to blow this next train of thought. It's not a arrogant statement to say I probably can find a winning trade. I've been doing this my whole life. But you never want to let it get to to the point where you are thinking that you're beating the market, because it goes to your head. And every time it has, I have gotten smashed, especially for those 3 years as a shorter. I try to stay even keel. And this trade that works every time, today was a perfect example of, if you let it go against you, not only does it not work, I'm sorry, it did work, past tense, but you can get hammered. Look how this ASTS trade could have been a disaster. And that's why this is so much better than anything I've ever experienced. Because as an emotional guy, as a quote unquote irrational guy, someone who's, again, I just know myself. And part of trading is to know yourself. We're all human. We all make those mistakes. We all let the emotion take us over. If you trade disciplined enough, you'll overcome that emotion to some respect. You'll always have it, but VWAP and VWAP trading give you the discipline and the emotional fortitude to do what most people cannot do. And that is day trading. You hear the statistics. Most people lose because most people don't know what they're doing. Most people are buy and hold. Most people think that works on a daily basis. Imagine you were a buy and hold trade on ASTS today. Imagine you were a buy and hold on a rigatoni. Imagine you just bought the Qs because, man, I'm afraid to short the Qs today. But if you bought them today, today's the first day you finally lost. So I look at what we do on a daily basis as almost like a psychiatric trip down trading, because this whole game, what was the quote from Yogi Berra? 100% of 50% of 100% of whatever he said. It's all emotional. Finding a winning trade is easy, especially in this market. Managing the winning trade is the hard part. And that's where your emotions come in. You're up money, you take it too quickly because you don't want it to go away. You're down money, you stay too long because you don't want to take the loss. VWAP trading fixes those two problems. So let me show you another trade that I did today, which is one of my favorite trades because it proved that I know nothing and I'm clueless, and I love it. Right? Here it is. HIMS. Anybody take their boner pills to try to grow hair? Yeah, me. I don't know if anybody's tried their generic version of whatever they say. Don't do it, because you're not having any fun, because you're on the verge of having a stroke and a heart attack. And by the time your wife's ready to join in on the fun, you're all you can't even concentrate because your eyeballs are popping out of your head, and it ain't any fun. And their hair products don't work. I'm living proof. So I hate this stock. Plus, I think it's a scam, right? Awful. But yet, when I was shorting it last year, the stock told me, shut your dumb mouth. It's not going down. You're going to get killed. And then finally, it did roll over. But fast forward to today, right? I have no love for this stock at all. I do believe it's going to zero. But I need to take myself and my opinion and my emotion out of this trade. Is it a stock that's gapped down? Yes. Did it faux show and break the VWAP? Yes, buy it. And then it comes back down to the VWAP. And I'm thinking, all right, do I want to short it? Nah, I don't want to short a stock that's gapped down. Let me wait and see what happens. Breaks the VWAP. It's chopping around. We call this the VWAP jiggle and the shuffle because it really was just jiggling along and shuffling along. Breaks a new low just to screw that one person. And then it's back above VWAP and back above that range. You know what I'm doing right there? Buying it. And in that moment right there, I'm a good trader because I took everything that I believed, everything that I thought, all my distrust and loathing of this company and their awful products, and I bought the stock. Woo! And then I used my discipline. I'm looking for it to get back to the high of the day. Sold to you. Do I sell it all? Of course not. I think it's going to the orange line. But then it rolls back below that price. I sold some more. And then my stop is where I bought it and I got out right there. That little blip, that was me selling whatever I had left. And did I feel good about it 20 minutes later? No. I was like, I screwed another trade up. But then it rolled over and died. So when you use your discipline and you have a trade that works over time and you do it every single time, you should come out ahead. So using my discipline today, especially the lessons I learned last week, and let me show you how I screwed this trade up. And I'll show it to you again. It was DoorDash 3 or 4 days ago. Was it 3 days ago? I don't know. When was that nightmare? Wednesday? Last Wednesday? I think it was 5 days. There she blows, right? Wonderful trade. How'd you screw this one up, Kenny? Well, let me explain. I'm sitting there, not a fan of DoorDash. I'm not really a fan of most stocks. I'm a bearish kind of guy, trapped in a bull market anyway. But gapped up stock, breaking VWAP, breaking the range. I'm in. I'm short, 179.10, targets the orange line. How'd I screw this thing up? Well, let me explain. I'm short only 100 shares here, right? I'm already up $400 or $500. It starts to bounce. I'm not afraid. It doesn't break the VWAP. Then it rolls. I'm like, I'm going to short some more. I'm in a winning trade. Let me add to it. And it gets to the orange line. I covered one. And then it bounced again. Doesn't break over the VWAP. I'm hanging in there with this chop, trading like a champ. Then it rolls again. And here I was like, I'm going nuts. This is the one. And I went from a 200 share lot to a 2,000 share lot. First mistake. What are you doing? That was me getting greedy, pushing the issue on a trade, on a short trade in a bull market. You're happy you get paid in the first place. Blue line, orange line. Would break the orange line. So I'm gonna add to it. I had 200 shares. I added 1,800 shares. Right there. Went against me. I'm like, all right, no problem. But here, I'm thinking I'm gold. And then the worst part happened. Rips against me. Now I got to start covering for losses. And I'm covering here. I'm covering here. And this is why this trade was so horrifying. My last stop was the range where it came from. And it was as if they were searching for my freaking stock. And I got top ticked on the way out.
And then it rolled over without me anyway. Very hurtful. Very painful. So why did I get hammered on this trade? Because instead of doing what I normally do, small lots, make my money, have a nice day, go play pickleball with dad or whatever, I decided to go freaking nuts and add eightfold to my position and absolutely blew it. And obviously it was hurtful because it wound up would have been a decent trade. And I did that 3 times in one day. Very, very difficult day. And I don't lose that type of money intraday. And man, I'm emotionally scarred from it. But what did I learn from it? Don't do that. Don't do that anymore, Kenny. ASTS today, don't blow it, Kenny. You got yourself a long trade, blue line, orange line, take the money, raise your stop. Wonderful. Rigatoni, you're disappointed? Who gives a shit? Dump it. Don't add to it. Stick to the rules. Breaking back below VWAP, you're rolling over, dump it. HIMS, you hate the stock, who cares? It's breaking VWAP and ranges, buy it. Gets to the price, sell it. Rolling over, dump it. And that's my day. So every time you trade, I'm going to leave you with this, and then thank you for tuning in. My name's Kenny Glick. My website is hitthebid.com. I've been doing this my whole life. And if you are in the New York City area, come hang out with me and smoke some weed in the park and enjoy the fruits of our labor. Steve Leisman in the park today at Central Park at 4:30. We'll be playing hacky sack, playing some frisbee, smoking some weed, and listen to 2 sets of the Grateful Dead in the park for free. And if you donate $20, you get a nice little T-shirt. And maybe Josh Brown will be there too, because he's always fun to hang out with. And that's my story. So thanks for tuning in. If you are around, I am getting out of here after I take a nice nap because I'm old now. I'm usually napping out on the bus. But if you guys are around Central Park, 4:30, I'll see you there. It's called the Band Shell. And bring your own beer. All right. Great hanging with you. Ryan, I'm out of here. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you guys next week. Same bat channel, same bat time. And if you guys are interested in hanging out with us in the pre-market or the regular session, just email me. My email is as old as I am. KennyGlick@AOL.com. That's right. KennyGlick@AOL.com. Thank you so much, Ryan. And we are out. Do we have an outro to play us out? All right. We have Sting to play us out. What does that mean? There's no words on it. All right, everybody. Farewell. Thanks, bro. All right. I could go for some Zeppelin too. What do you want to hear? I'm in a mood for this song. I don't know why it was the first thing I thought of, but I'll play you out. I'll play you out with something that nobody usually goes to when you think Zeppelin, but this one is... Yes. And by the way, let's go for twofer because this market is what? What's this market doing right now? You guys are still short the Qs, right? Because that last stop never got you, friends. You should still be short the Qs, looking for 698.93. You still didn't get stopped out. That discipline kept you in this trade. What's happening to the market right now? You know what happened. You know what happened. You know what's happening. By the way, there's a Zeppelin song for every kind of mood you're in. Greatest band that's ever been. Wait for it. Wait for it. There it is. There it is. We made it. There you see how it hit to the penny? Like that, right? See how it hit to the penny? It's rigged. There it is. 698.93. What did you just hit? 698.93 to the penny. It's rigged, baby. Which is why you should be covering. Not all, but now you lower your stop to the last breakdown price. Now get up from your desk and let's fucking go! Bring it out home. Bring it out home. Woo. You like that cover? Don't cover it all yet. You might want to tighten up down to 783. But how you like that cover down there? All right. And that is it for me. What a great way to go out. Nice. Coming to the main stage, if you guys stick around, he's at 6'7" at 220. He plays guitar and makes an incredible bacon wrap scallop. We don't know when he appears, but when he does appear, it's fan-freaking-tastic. His name's Solid Jello. And if you say his name 3 times, sometimes he appears. All right. Well, if you guys were short in the Qs, that couldn't have worked out any better. And if you lower your stop, that's what I'd be doing. 786 cents right there. If you're delusional enough to think we're actually going to go past the 5-day, but it's about freaking time we got some selling. And if you gander over by the SOXL, it's the only thing I didn't even, probably should have joined in on that frenzy right there. But
Guys, remember, we just did something that we thought would be impossible, making money on a QQQ short. And I joined in real late. I'm just happy it worked. Thanks for being here, people. Awesome stuff. Solid Jello is on his way to doing something else, but why not take the rest of the day? You're off on me. My new friends, you see how we do this now? Right? Was that a good day or not? Right? To the guy that left me 5 minutes into the day yesterday, look at all this fun you're missing out on. Hopefully he shows back up and gives me another chance. All right? I've been doing this my whole life. Don't make a judgment call in 5 minutes. Great day, everybody. Especially that hymn straight. That was a lot of fun. And if you did short, congrats. Right? Don't overstay your welcome, friends. We just got to the 5-day VWAP. Lovely. I'll see you at the park, friends. Come out and jam with me. I got enough weed.